Welcome back to Prairie.306. My name is Jess. This is week 11 of my garden tours. August has been a weird month so far. Our temperatures are starting to drop at night to like the high teens, which is lovely and very, very appreciated. Pandora, I'm sorry, but you're not participating. Okay. But yeah, things are chugging along. Some stuff is behind where it was last year this time. Some stuff is ahead of where it was last year this time. I may or may not have been starting to plan next year's gardens and updates already in August of 2021 for the 2022 garden. But anyone who's a gardener understands. Yeah, so that's really all I have to say for an intro. So let's get out there and check things out. I apologize if it's windy. So yeah, here is an update on the little mini garden that we put in to replace the tree. These petunias are doing very well. I was kind of worried because they were so late getting into the ground, but they're growing really pretty. So hopefully I'll be able to get some seed pods off these like the ones in the back. And then there's this. The giant sunflowers that I am so in love with and want to just have like a wall of them next year. So, oh, there's a nice lovely weed. Oh, and it didn't come out of the ground. There we go. So, the lilies will not bloom this year because I messed up. But that's okay. I'm going to end up moving them anyways. This heuchera is doing really well. It's still getting sunburnt, but that's okay. A lot of the dahlias have blooms and have fallen over on me. But they have blooms. I don't know if they're going to flower this year though, because they're so behind. Last year, this time I had like multiple that were open at this point. I am just attributing that to it being a very weird year temperature wise, but they are there. Slowly but surely. They're sprouting. Maybe I should put some fertilizer for blooms and stuff down on them. And the coleus and the bed are doing well. The osteos flower and then die off and then flower, and it seems like I always miss them. The portulacas are enjoying the heat. It's getting cool at night too, so stuff is starting to slow down on me. The red clematis is putting out more flowers. This hosta is completely shaded and tiny, but that's alright. It's adorable. Oh, this sunflower. It's so pretty. Look at that. And then it has 1, 2, 3, 4 more blooms on it. I did not realize it was a multi-head. Oh, I just knocked the petal off. Oh, dang it. And then, I am 99% sure that's the black magic, and I cannot wait for that head to open, is going to be glorious. I also don't want to pull in it because I know there's a spider that made her web up there and I don't want to disturb her. And then this is the Russian mammoth that is still growing. No head on it yet. I gotta come through and deadhead some of this, but these petunias are doing very well. They're not liking the cooler nights. And by cooler nights, I mean it's getting down to like 15 instead of 25, but go up onto the porch here. Look at that gorgeous thing. Honestly, I'm thinking next year I might just put all candle lilies across my porch because they are just glorious. Absolutely glorious. I have a seed pod that is just about ready to come off. I have blooms upon blooms. Some of it's dying off, some of it's got more. I'm very impressed with this plant. The calla has not put out any blooms for me, unfortunately. But these two did, so I'm happy with that. Potato vines, I think I might be done with them. We're supposed to get rain tonight too, so we'll see how they look after that. The snapdragon, the yellow snapdragon is forever just producing and producing and producing and growing. Like, I did not realize these things got so tall. Yeah. And they even look pretty when the flowers are dying off, which is nice. There has not been another bloom off of this one yet. I might put down bloom fertilizer and see if I can't get something to come up. And then the coleus has started to put out flowers that I'm pretty sure the grasshoppers are going to destroy on me. This experiment pot, we're not talking about it. It's going to get ripped up and repurposed because I am not impressed with the dirt and how it all went, because that's been watered frequently, but you can't really tell because this soil is as hard as a rock. Yeah. The alyssum is dying off. These coleus are getting, I think that's grasshopper damage. It's grasshopper damage or bee damage. I don't remember which. Could be both for all I know. But yeah, it has been an odd year, temperature-wise and whatnot. But I gotta say, for the beginning of August here and everything that's gone on, things are looking pretty good still. Yeah, that sunflower is just giant. So anyways, off we go now into the backyard. There are some things growing. So, these tomatoes are starting to ripen. These ones are still producing and starting to ripen up. Pulled peppers off of this guy. Have been pulling peppers off of this one and this one. This one has flowers that is going to turn into peppers soon. There are pepper flowers on this one and starting on this one and more on this one with the purple bells and the regular bells. The Apache are just loaded down with peppers here. This cucamelon is still going strong. These are my petunias that I need to harvest seed pods from, which is why they're still here and not dealt with yet. This is the tomato that I did surgery on. If you can see this cute melon vine in the way. Right in here, that's where it got busted. So this leader is now putting out tomatoes, which I'm super excited about because I didn't think it was going to. This tomato is almost ready to pick off. These are the white currants. And then, continuing on down the stairs here, we have, I believe these are the evil olives. Yep. This is the evil olive tomato. They look really cool. The Bosque Blue Bumbles, which I'm waiting on them to turn a little yellow. They're almost ready, I think. They don't quite pop off gently yet, so they're not quite ready. But there's another truss there, another truss there, and another flower truss right here. So there's lots of tomatoes. Lots of tomatoes. I have the sun-scorched poblano, which is probably getting ready to pull. Then if you come back here, there's a bunch of little ones, which is exciting. The mint is very happy and very smelly. The other herbs here didn't come up. It happens. I have not had success with herbs, but I think that's because I'm probably doing something wrong. Well, learning lessons though, right? Lots of basil, little basils. What is this one? This is the beefsteak, which has some tomatoes starting on it. Right here. More here, and a sucker that I should probably pull off. Not gonna lie, I have not been in the garden much this week. Then we've got pepperoncinis. Look at that. I am excited. Ian makes a really good roast that calls for pepperoncini peppers. And I'd be lying if I said that that was the only reason that I grew those this year. Because it's exactly the reason why I grew them. Then, what is this one? Is this the Serrano? Yes. There is a Serrano in here. And it is putting out peppers for me, which is fantastic. Look at them, they're so cute. And then the Anaheims are huge. Oh, there's 3 of them in here. Look at this. Look at that thing. Giant. And then I have one lonely banana pepper. So far. Mostly because it's probably big time shaded out by this Anaheim, because this Anaheim is unbelievable. 3 big peppers on it. I'll have to Google when I can pull these peppers off. So that's everything on the shelf, or the stairs. And then I have pulled 3 beans off of this bean shelf, because apparently all I have to do is badmouth my plants on video and post it for everybody to see, and then they're like, oh, maybe we should do something. So I think I have like 2 or 3 more beans that I could harvest, and then I think probably near the end of August here, maybe next weekend, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, see, they're done. I'll be probably tearing this down, and I would say prepping this space for fall, but we don't really have much of a fall growing season here, so probably not prepping for fall. Tabasco pepper is still growing and putting out peppers, which is great. We have so many Tabasco peppers, it's awesome. They're going to make a lovely chili powder. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Might save some mature ones as well, and save some seeds and grow them. So, now, tomato jungle. Yeah, I don't have much to say about this other than I lost the Great Tomato War because they are taller than me, and it's physically difficult to prune them now because I can't reach them because they're up above. Oh, you can't see it. Above the canopy now. Yeah, it's also getting to the point where I'm probably going to have to top the plants so that they focus more on making fruit and ripening the fruit instead of growing and getting taller. My beets and carrots that I was worried about are all doing smashingly. I will be replanting my radish pretty quick here too. Like, okay, look at this. This branch is wound up in a cucumber that is still alive, that I didn't realize was still alive, but we're leaving it here because I don't think I can get it out right now. But this tomato branch goes back to like that tomato back there. And I'm just like, okay. Yeah, okay. But like, look at these suckers that I'm pulling off. I'm slacking, guys, but I'm losing the Great Tomato War. Like, ugh. Also, look at these stalks. They're as big as my thumb. That is awesome. Apparently, I can grow tomatoes. Maybe next year I will plan to maybe do like the Florida weave or something like that. Or maybe just not grow as many tomatoes. So, I was saying to Ian earlier today about how I'm actually like not looking forward to like ripping the garden down when it's all said and done for the year, but I'm interested to see the extent of the root systems on these tomatoes. Because the tomato plants themselves are so big. Like, look at all those tomatoes. One truss. Second truss. Another truss that is a sucker but isn't a sucker because it's got... I don't know. They're doing whatever they want to do and I'm just here for the ride at this point. Pea plants probably almost done. They're starting to get a little crispy. So then scooch back into here. You'll notice I no longer have cabbage plants because the loopers found them and decimated them. The okra is still doing well. And the not sweet corn has started to tassel. But I don't see any silks, and we're getting a little late in the year, so I'm not sure what's going to happen. My cosmos and zinnias I don't think will flower this year, but that's alright. I planted them pretty late, so I wasn't expecting much out of them. It was more so just to have them for the bees. But the bees seem to be doing pretty good on their own. Like, look at this mess. Look at this mess, my goodness. There's so many tomatoes. So many tomatoes. I'm not even sure what is what anymore because there's just so many of them. I know I do have green zebra tomatoes that are doing really well. I think these are the yellow pear shapes. And they were really good when I started them, so it doesn't surprise me. Oh yeah, here, look, more tasseling. Look at that. So for anyone that doesn't know, this is the male part of the corn. And these little grains need to hit the silks when they start. And then each little one of these grains here, I'll zoom in for you. Oops. Each one of these little grains will end up being a kernel on the corn husk. Yeah. And then more beets and carrots, which I was going to give up on, and I'm glad I didn't. The okra plants are getting tall. Oops, very much enjoying the heat. That one could probably actually be harvested. That one right there. Oh, the leaves are in the way. That one. Yeah, so that's one side of the north bed. Oh, goodness. Oh, and then Miss Janie here. It was no longer my pet project. I am not involved. I have relinquished any control over her because I don't know what to do when she starts to bud. So that is Ian's responsibility. So you'll notice that is the Cabbage Graveyard, because I am not putting that in my compost because it has buggos on it. So they will stay over there. They will go in the garbage. And that's that, pretty much. Unfortunately. But it is what it is. I will be reutilizing these squares. I'm not sure what I'm going to put in here. If I'm going to put in the spinach again, or if I'm going to put in beets and whatnot. I am just kind of also letting the volunteer tomato do whatever it wants. It has flowers on it, so hopefully I'll be able to see what kind of tomato it is. I would be super excited if it was my Black Beauty tomato that came back. However, it's more than likely an offshoot from the Midnight Snack. Yeah. So, as you can see, oh, my great white fell over. I had this staked up yesterday, but apparently it just wants to lie down, so I'm kind of to the point where I'm just letting my tomato plants go. As long as they give me tomatoes, which I believe all of them are. So, yeah, there, if you look, I don't know if you can see, right there, that little dot above my finger, that's a tomato flower. It's going to be interesting to pull these down. Look at them, though. They're so pretty. And they don't have blossom and grow, which makes me really happy. When I planted these, I planted them each over top of an egg, because I was told that that would help with the calcium absorption. And yeah, so far it seems to have been working, because I have not seen any blossom and rot on any of my tomatoes yet. I have not seen all of my tomatoes yet. So that might be a preemptive assumption. Yeah, so there's, I don't know if you can see, there they are. Those are the green zebras, and then right underneath them there are the purple Ukrainian. They're not purple yet, but they will be. That pea plant is probably pretty close to being done. This one didn't really give me anything, which I'm kind of miffed about, but it's all good. I probably overtaxed my beds this year with the amount and variety of things that I planted. It was a learning experience, though, and I had fun even with the frustrations. Here's the sugar baby tomato. Oh, look at that. Are you ready? Oh, not quite yet. That's the sugar baby that I bought and slammed in here because I had an empty spot. The deer tongue lettuce is doing really well. I've been harvesting from that for my lunches. The eggplants. This one's really tall. That one is not very tall. This one keeps giving me flowers with no fruit. See? Dead flower, no fruit. Oh, I should probably zoom in just a hair to see. Yeah, see? Dead flower, no fruit on it. However, I do have a piccolo eggplant. And I believe this is probably the prettiest thing I have ever grown in any of my gardens ever. Period, hands down. And if all I get is one piccolo eggplant this year, I will consider it a success. I'm kind of actually really happy with that. Oh, I flipped it over. Now you guys can see my face. Whoopsies. Hold on here. That's what I get for not paying attention. This zucchini plant, I'm kind of afraid of it, if we're being honest. I know I have one zucchini that is, I'd say it's got a little bit still. And there's two more in here that seem to have been fertilized. It has the main area here, and then it is growing an additional spot. It has branched over here. It has rooted itself to the point that I cannot take it out without like destroying the plant. And it's starting to give me a whole bunch of female zucchini flowers, which I am excited about because this is pretty impressive for a dollar store seeds. I for sure thought that the germination was going to be terrible, or that I wasn't going to get any production off of it, and it showed me up, which I appreciate. However, it is completely shaded of the onions that I planted beside it, which is okay because my initial crop of onions is doing really well. But yeah, I'm also kind of glad that I pulled out the majority of the squash plants along here, because this one alone has pretty much taken up the whole space, which is okay because I left that one because it already had a squash on it, and then I pollinated one of them yesterday, so we will see how that goes. The celery, I believe I can start harvesting off of it now. I'm pretty sure. Look at that. Like, whoa. There's two plants in here. Oh, sorry, spider. Yeah, there's two stalks. And then I was gonna give up on the pepper plants. However, the peppers in the beds have decided that now they're going to put out peppers for me. So I will leave them. The onions are more or less done. Usually when the tops start to die off, they're done. So I'll probably be harvesting and curing them so that we can enjoy them throughout the winter time. My little potato cucumber, God bless its soul, is growing. And this is almost, I think it's almost mature. Oh, it's still pretty hard. They're cute though. I'm really, they're adorable. I love them. These cucamelons are doing what I wanted the cucumbers to do, which was hit the trellis and start to crawl all over. They have also made friends with the pea plant and are holding the pea plant up. Yep, you'll see I got that squash yesterday and hand pollinated it. So hopefully I will get another butternut that is a little bit bigger than this one. Because this might end up being a reptile squash, because I don't think there's very much for people to eat in that one. And the watermelon is doing its thing. I don't see any female flowers. Bunch of male flowers. So I don't know if I will get anything off of it, but it's pretty, so I don't mind. Potatoes are starting to dry out. They're not dry. They look like they haven't been watered in 2 weeks, but they have been. So it'll probably be getting close-ish time to harvesting them. And my lettuce container is doing really well. Yeah, so the thinking is going to be here in the next few weeks. I have just over a month left. Oop, what? Sorry, squash plant, I'm stepping on you. I have just over a month left. So I'll probably pull the dead pea plants out, start pulling the, harvesting the onions, start harvesting off the celery, pulling up potatoes, and then I don't know if I'll put more beets and carrots in, but I will attempt my radishes again. And then, I mean, I've already started planning next year's garden too, so gonna do things a little bit differently, probably focus more on stuff that we actually consume instead of, hey, look at all this cool stuff, because the cool stuff is really cool. It's fun though. So yeah, anyways, just a little different perspective too, with it being in the evening. Last week I gave you guys the early morning tour, so I figured I'd show a different time frame. But yeah, this is where we're at the oh, my sad nasturtiums. For whatever reason, I cannot grow nasturtiums because that dirt's not dry, but they're dead. It happens. All I can do. But yeah, the plan for next year is probably going to be a little more focused on stuff that produces a lot more instead of having a large variety of things. And then we're also going to be utilizing the chain link as a trellis mechanism of some sort. I'm just not sure how or what I'm going to put along it yet. Maybe cucumbers, maybe pole beans, maybe peas. I don't know. I'm going to start stuff on time next year too, because that was also another issue I had, was starting things late and then having them not get to a point where they could produce. But that's for the wrap-up video. Anyways, thank you guys for hanging out with me in my little patch of Saskatchewan paradise. If you would like to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video, I greatly appreciate it. And until next week, I will see you later. Bye-bye.